Good day to everybody. And so we will continue our talking, our conclusion of today's socialization, so that we won't lose time. Let's look up our realizations. Tatiana is writing. Yesterday, I understood that I have now calm mood, and I stopped running and being in a hurry. It became easier to be with karmi, and now I try to make everything more qualified. That's very good, Tatiana. So we have to understand that reading of Holy Scriptures has to give us not only information, because Holy Scriptures feels like it's just a literature, and but still it's literature incarnation of God, so you can take a lot of things from there. And these things that are described there are really working. Thank you so much for realization. Tatiana Kozlova is writing, please accept my obeisances, you and all the team. Sometimes happens some kind of event that you will remember forever. And these events, they change your life. And they become a new point in your life. And this kind of event in my life, there are two of them. There's these two marathons. And I feel and see how my life changes from external part and even internal. I always think about Krishna. I always hear Mahamantra. Everything that I do, whether I wash the floors or cook something, I do everything for Krishna, and my heart is filled with love towards the Lord. I want so much to keep this condition even after a marathon. Yeah. Go on reading, continue reading after marathon, read reports of Srila Prabhupada, and you will keep this taste forever. Very good realization. Thank you so much. That means that everything is working. And yes, this kind of events, they can be a starting point in life that each and every person has to find or put some event on yourself. Maybe this event is not happening now, but you have to create it and wait for it, and Krishna will give you this event that will keep you on this path filled with enthusiasm during all your life. Anatoly, thank you for spiritual bliss. Things that you say are miraculous. They inspire me so much. That is so. Tatiana again is writing. On the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita, from interactive speaking to you, I hear from my mentor that to keep going on a spiritual path, you have to accept spiritual master. And it is so, but I'm a wife of my husband, and I have to ask my husband a permission to accept spiritual master. But my husband is materialist. What if he will be against it? In Madhya Lila, chapter 10, text 144, that you can't ignore the will of your husband, but if his will be against my spiritual growth, what to do? Prabhupada said, this is not our philosophy. Don't imagine what will happen. You can't predict what Krishna prepared for you. You can't just predict it. So this if that you have, you should get rid of it. As for spiritual master, you have to find him, you have to search for him, pray to Lord, and keep serving your husband. Don't think he will say or he will not say. Actually, in his heart, Krishna also says, and each and every word, each move that he does, your husband gets from Lord. So if Krishna will be satisfied by you, he will give any kind of spiritual blessings to your husband, and your husband will give it to you. Sometimes he can say, if you ask him, he will say, do whatever you want. And that's the kind of blessing that you get. Actually, I was blessed this way some time ago. When I talked to my family, my mother, my godfather, my sisters, and I told them that I just want to love you, but I can't. And you, it seems to be like you also can't love me, don't know how to do it. And I said, I want to go to study how to love you, and so give me your blessings and I will go. And they said, yeah, you go. That's how they did it. Also they said some few other words, and I understood that that's the kind of blessing that you get in Kali Yuga. But the motive is yes, and this blessing works still. And so just keep serving. Keep doing your responsibilities for your husband so that he would be satisfied by you. And find the right words to get to his heart. You don't have to think that maybe he will say no. Everything will go as it has to be, because Krishna arranges everything. Not even one move of some kind of particle of dust cannot happen without the will of Krishna. So you have to value your husband, you have to respect your husband, because he is serving you, he is protecting you, everything is fine. You don't have to worry about it. And you have to understand that Guru won't ever tell you anything that you can't do. Everything that he asks you about, you can do it. He gives you knowledge so that you could make it. That's the mercy of Guru. He's not just a computer who gives you the orders. He is the representative of Hari. He is witness of everything that happens. He is the most sensitive. He is like Krishna. He is so sensitive. He will give you specifically what you need. Sometimes you can ask him what you want, but he will say no, that's not what you need. But you will insist and you say, oh yes, that's what I need. But he will refuse because he knows better. Everything will be fine. Marina. Madhya Lila, chapter 23, text 61. The topic is being worried and being envy, two types of transcendental ignorance. Sometimes devotee can feel himself like Krishna. So, how do you compare just envious behavior from transcendental? At first, you just want to show yourself, to be pride, but the second one is that you just want to give all glories to Krishna and you don't think about yourself. Tamara is asking, Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 2, 21. Lord Krishna was followed by lots of cows and cowherd boys. Then another text. Vrindavan is not more than 16 kilometers. So explain me how such huge quantity of cows and cowherd boys could be situated in such a small Vrindavan. And the explanation is that there's a spiritual level of Vrindavan, and when we speak about Vrindavan, we don't mean material dimensions. It said that Krishna is playing on one part of forest. Then someone is asking him to go to another place where it's a huge distance. But as Vrindavan is a lotus, so Krishna needs, when he needs to go to another part of this lotus, in spiritual life everything is personality. Even if Krishna has a tear, this tear is a personality that touches Krishna, that satisfies Krishna with this tear, with himself. So when Krishna needs to go to another distance, and there were no cars or any other vehicles, so lotus would not do it for everybody, but just for Krishna. So this lotus will just close a bit to get closer to Krishna. Then Krishna goes there, and it opens again. And this is the way Krishna is traveling on Vrindavan. But people with material consciousness won't understand this. They will say, "What are you talking about?" So how do you place internal quantity of cowherd boys or cows in a small village? So you can't understand it with material consciousness. For instance, in last day, Krishna needed to get rid of Yadavas, because even Yadavas at these days became a source of botherness to Mother Earth. So Krishna would have to arrange everything in a way that more than 2 billions of people would leave their bodies. So they came, and he said, "Now we have to leave Dwaraka, because I need to go away from this earth. We played this part here, and then you won't be able to be here without me. And Dwaraka is amazing, and some demons will have to go there and attack Dwaraka, and you won't be able to keep it safe without me, so you have to go also. Let's go do some yagya. We ask some demigods. We will get a lot of pious activities to get a better birth." And there was like a billion of warriors who went there with Krishna. And they did all these yagyas, did everything right. And then they started to drink. They had a fight and they killed each other. Some kind of civil war happened. there was 1 billion people just left their bodies. Then Krishna left. He left this world and said Tanuki, his chariot master, to go to Dwaraka to tell everybody what happened and tell Arjuna also, so that he could took people to Indraprastha. He told him a lot of things to do, and he went to Dwaraka, told all these things to people from Dwaraka, and they got crazy. They went to this field where this yagya happened, and every warrior had a wife, and these wives, they also left their body because they couldn't live without their husbands, and they were cremated. They were mystical people, they could do it. So some wives of Krishna also went into a fire. A lot of people went into a fire just because they found out that Krishna left. Also, Sugriva was the one who couldn't take it. Devaki also, they couldn't continue living. Krishna is gone, we don't have a sense for living. So for this small amount of time, a huge quantity of people just left their bodies. And we are thinking about Dwaraka, and if you go there, you won't see such huge places which can conceive all these 2 billion of people. For instance, in one palace of Dwaraka, some few billions of people were just security there. So we count more than 6 billions. So it's hard to understand these all spiritual dimensions, to understand how it works. We just can trust holy scriptures and saintly people who talk about it. And that means that those cows and cowherd boys were not in material dimensions. Andrei. There's a quality of being humble and be truthful. So sometimes you want to tell the truth, but you feel that inside you worry, you have fears and so on, and you don't tell the truth. But when you become calm, when you calm down, you find out that time had passed and you don't have this opportunity to tell this truth. So don't worry about it. You have to think of time. Sometimes you can do this, but you don't risk it. But sometimes you have to try it so that you can understand how you develop these qualities. Sometimes you really don't have to open this truth to people. It's not that you not following some kind of law, but sometimes you have to be silent in some situations. And speaking about humbleness, you have to always think that you are a servant of Krishna, you are a servant of devotee of Krishna, you are a servant of all the servants, and try to understand the world with this consciousness. You're not a master. And when you will understand that you're not master, humbleness will come easy for you. Sometimes, though, as master, you can be a husband or a parent of children. It's just an example of how you can be a master. You feel yourself a master. And yes, you still being a master, you still serve your wife and your children. So that means being a servant. So yes, you are husband, master, and servant also. You keep doing your responsibilities, but in a mood of service. You're a servant of your child. You care about him, that's your service for him. You bring him up, you give him education, that's your service. So when you will have this mood of service, you will understand the humbleness. And sometimes Krishna will train you, so be ready. And this is very interesting how you will witness your spiritual growth. So you can put this goal in your life, but not for yourself, but for Krishna. And sometimes Krishna will give you some problems. For instance, you want to watch your favorite movie, and you will lay down and prepare for watching, but someone will come and ask you to do something, for instance, to throw away garbage. And you will feel, oh, I don't want to do it, but you will have to be humble enough to take this garbage out. And you will be able to do it only in one case, when you will understand that Krishna wants it, that Krishna arranged it. Because you put a very high goal, and He is testing you this way. And you will understand that Krishna is acting through your wife, because Krishna exists in the heart of all the living entities. And all these living entities are sitting like in a car of this body. And this, understanding all these things, you will be able to develop all these qualities, telling the truth and being humble. What is devotion to the Lord on the level of the devotee who is just starting to serve? And you know that this is devotional service. For instance, you woke up and you need to wash yourself. You need to go take a bath. And you go to the shower, you go to the toilet, you clean your teeth, brush your teeth. Maybe you clean your ears or something like that. And that's all these things, it counts as you washed yourself. It's not like you washing yourself is being under the shower. No, brushing your teeth, cleaning your nose, cleaning your tongue, even going to toilet. That's the part of becoming clean. And now you're preparing to perform devotional service. And from this point, everything will start. And all the other things is just a preparation for devotional service. And when you follow the instructions of devotee, that means that you are a devotee. Until you follow the directions of pure devotee, you are considered to be pure devotee. But until you just follow, when you will stop doing it, you stop being devotee. So that's what you have to do. You have to start your devotion from serving devotee. Find yourself a mentor, a teacher who will help you, and just serve him. You will say, where do I find him? You read the books of Srila Prabhupada, and that's your service for Prabhupada. Until you read his books, you follow the directions of pure devotee. So you are performing pure devotional service. You start from serving the devotees. So, and that's the preparation. You have to value devotional service. That's the most precious thing that we can have. and nothing will be more precious. That's the most precious thing. So you have to come to it very seriously. It's like learning how to fly the plane. You can say, I will study and then I will fly. No, you have to pay attention while studying. You have to put a lot of efforts and time to study this. That's just an example, of course. That's the same thing. Devotional service is a very serious thing, very sweet. That's the thing that will open the way to spiritual world, will open for us Krishna. That's devotional service. So you have to serve right now for the devotees and you will achieve it. Tell me, please, is it necessary to worship deities at home? I don't pay a lot of attention to japa and books. Isn't it impersonalism? I am 65 years old. Prabhupada says you have to worship deities because we won't be able to develop relations to Krishna. That's what makes us very serious and responsible. That's the personal level of serving Krishna. That's very personal. You awaken your consciousness for Krishna. When you read japa, chant japa, your mind can fly somewhere else. But during worshipping and serving, you are fully absorbed in it. Because Radharani is the one who is arranging everything for you to serve deities. So actually you meditate on your spiritual master because he asked Krishna to come to your house, to be there as a deity. It's not just made of something, it's Krishna himself came to you, to your house, to be there because Guru asked him. And Guru said, please, there's my disciple, he loves you so much, could you please come to him and he will worship you, he will serve you. And Krishna says, for you? That's what he says to our spiritual master. He says, for you I will do everything because I am your servant. I belong to you. You can even sell me on a market. That's what Krishna thinks towards your master. And so he comes to you, and that's it. You have to understand that by the mercy of spiritual master, I can serve Krishna personally. That's how I can feel his mood, develop relationships with him, and how it happens. You have to understand that you help Radharani to serve Krishna, because only Radharani is serving Krishna. All other personalities, they help her. And that's what Krishna loves more than when we think I'm serving. And that's how step by step you will lose a taste for everything material. You will lose all the lust, and you will be surprised how fast it actually went away. But you have to do it in a very sacred mood. Prabhupada said you have to serve deities. Besides, if you're grihastha, you have to serve deities. And holy name, that's the basis, of course, that's the main practice that we do, but thanks to that you got the accepted guru, you were attentive enough to chant holy names, now you can serve deities. And sometimes we have some desires, some plans, but you have to continue because Krishna will take your mind, take your heart, take your intelligence, take all your senses. He will concentrate all your things on himself. You will fall down to sleep and you will have Krishna behind your eyes. When you will wake up, you will see Krishna also. That's the Krishna consciousness. And you will awake Krishna with a bell, and you will start to dress him up, then you will feed him, then you will give him some time to rest. The simple things of worshiping that you will do, and some people will say that you're a crazy person. Sometimes they say this. That's normal. You're right, I am crazy. I went off the mind, off the platform of mind. Because you have to become crazy, mindless person to serve Krishna. So step by step, we will feel Krishna and see Krishna there. Then he will come to you. He will say, I'm hungry. And you will say, but I fed you. Ah, I didn't like it. I didn't eat anything of it. No, no salt, no sugar. What you were thinking about when you were cooking this? You just cook this and that's it? No, I don't eat this. You cook me something very good, with a good consciousness. And you will say, oh my God, that's how I should do the whole life? And he will say, yes. And you don't have to think that life is very long. Life is very short. Whole life is just a lightning strike. And it's just a small time that you have to chant mantra and worship Krishna with quality. And you can use all your senses. You can see Krishna, hear Krishna, talk about Krishna, do something for Krishna. Because that's the kind of birth that demigods are waiting for. They wait a lot of time. But you already have this. And if you don't realize this, that means that you don't use what actually is valuable in this body. So we're just sitting on a pile of diamonds. So you don't think that that's something not very important. That's very important. In a spiritual world, everybody serving Krishna. How to become devotee? You serve devotees. And how to serve Krishna? You serve the ones who serve Him. And on the altar, you have just a form that allows you to see Him. But actually, Krishna is in your heart. And on the altar, there's a deity which you use to understand Him, to see Him, to talk to Him, because He also wants to see you and to talk to you. Thank you very much for such a question. A lot of people are interested in this, for sure. Yulia, for 18 years I was performing yoga. You're a very serious person. You're a yogi. In 2013 I met a master. And some spontaneous practice manifested, but it was Krishna brought me to Himself. Kundalini is awakened. I have 4 planets: Saturn, Moon, Yoga, Saturn for Christianity, Saturn for Christianity, Moon for Yoga, Mercury for Krishna, Venus for material love. Using Krishna and close devotees, I can hold on in Krishna consciousness. But now I'm worried to manifest what spontaneously comes out of me. Sometimes I allow myself to manifest spontaneously, but I don't know what will I say. And I chant Mahamantra also spontaneously. I have different states, I feel a lot of emotions. I feel pain as an energy, I feel like someone is teaching me. I write as a poem things that I understand. Spontaneously I have the fears. And most of time I try not to hurry up. For I can't live without Krishna because everything else is not that attractive for me. What do I do with spontaneous things? Don't do anything with them, you just continue. You don't have to do anything, just continue spontaneously serving Krishna or devotees. You don't have to open your realization for all the devotees, because there are sometimes devotees who are not on the right level to hear these things that they are not ready for, because they will think that you are crazy, but they won't tell you. Because they are devotees, they will love you, they will care for you, but they will think that you are strange, because you have this spontaneous things. Because it's normal, you have to continue serving devotees, and as you said, you have to be silent, you serve, you chant Maha Mantra, be very attentive in this, and you keep these spontaneous things, because that's one of the ways to serve Krishna in spontaneous mood. There's no problem in that. Everything is good. Continue and don't worry about it. Elena is writing. I have two questions. What happens to souls who were liberated and faded away in a shining of Brahman? They will go back. All of them, they will go back to earth to get birth. Lord Shiva will make them come back, because they have the experience of being here in these gunas of nature. Sooner or later they will come back, because this is not a natural state for soul to be faded away. Because natural state is performing love and service for Krishna. That's the way that they can be happy. And Krishna knows that because he's there in Brahman also, and it will bring the soul back here so that she could learn how to serve. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it's said that some souls are eternally free and some are eternally prisoned. And you have to understand that eternally free can't be conditioned again. And when we say that there are souls who are forever conditioned, that means that they will just stay here for a long time. Because for us, the day of Brahma can't even be brought to our consciousness. We can't even understand. But all these 8 billions and a lot of millions years is just one day for him, for Brahma. But for us, we can't even understand this number. But for him, it's just one day. But for us, it's more than eternity. So some souls are living here for few lives of Brahma. There are Brahmas who live for a long time. Our Brahma is not living for a long time. Our Brahma has a small period of life. But some Brahmas, they have millions of heads, and it means that they live longer. And that's how these souls will stay here in all this conditioned state. They can't just break through. But forever liberated, they can come here by their own will, can give the knowledge and get away again. They won't stay here forever. What's the point for them to come here? You can only come here if you need, like in toilet. Lord Chaitanya actually calls material world as something like toilet. Who will always stay in toilet if you don't want to go? Maybe you will come for some kind of mission. But these people who end up in Brahman, they come back to material world. Okay, the last question. Camila. All the glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. I really hope that I will be able to serve you doing something in your projects. Every advice of yours is very deep and practical, and you can understand that how often I argue and they try to explain myself. And you don't really have to explain yourself much, because when you do it, that means that you're saying to yourself and to everybody else that, look, I am liar. I lie to all of you and myself also. And if you do this, people who see this, they say, oh, you just try to justify yourself, and that's okay. If someone made some kind of notice for you, they say you do something wrong, you don't have to justify yourself, you just say, I'm sorry. You help to develop the needed qualities, humbleness, and so on. Yeah, you have to meditate on spiritual master and Prabhupada. If you read Prabhupada Lilamrita, it will inspire you to develop these qualities. Lilamrita means Lila games or pastimes, and Amrita is eternal. And this is a biography of Prabhupada from his childhood to the moment he passed away. And when you will read it, you will see all the qualities of a devotee, because they were all manifested in Prabhupada. You will be inspired very much. But I will warn you, be ready. You will want to give your life to Prabhupada for what he did for us. And you will feel a lot of pain about it. And you will feel that so many time you just wasted for something else. But just be ready for this feeling, because you will fall in love in Prabhupada. You won't understand that. You will understand that there's no more valuable person for you in your life, because he gave his life for us, and you will also want to devote your life for him. Thank you so much, everybody, for your realizations, for your questions, for your blessings, for warm words. We do all this marathon together. That's why I give all these credits for everybody. All the benefits belongs to everybody. And in the end, we give it to our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and Krishna will care for everyone else on earth. Wish you all the best. Wish you good mood, good health. Be happy. Goodbye.